Hey y'all, it's your friendly neighborhood panda here. Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to be analyzing and comparing comparing the original song In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, followed by the cover of that song by Voiceplay. This song was requested by one of my wonderful subscribers, Kane0308. Now, fair warning, I have heard both of these songs before, both these versions, so it's just going to be mostly analysis, which means I'm going to be pausing. Probably quite a lot. If that's not your jam, that's okay. I'm going to leave the uninterrupted video links in the description below for you. All right? But without further adieu, parting with such sweet sorrow. I'm sorry, that had absolutely nothing to do with what we're doing here. We're going to start off with the original by Phil Collins, which was released in 1981. Okay, we're starting off very anticipatory here with just some light percussion in the background, and a little bit of guitar kind of building in there, but it hasn't crescendo just yet. It stayed very, very even keel, and so you're kind of leaning forward. What's going to happen next? Okay, he starts off with a very thin sound, okay? This is his first solo song, if I remember correctly, before he split with his band. And there are a lot of urban legends, and there's a lot of reasons why people say he did this song. But that anticipatory feeling I was telling you about is there. It's a very thin, very straightforward sound, and you kind of hear a little bit of a waver back there. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it's a little like he's getting a little emotional, and he's trying hard not to cry. But it really lends itself to the lyrics. Let's go back just a teensy bit. Ooh, okay, now we're adding some more depth and some more layers here. Thus far, it's been very stripped back. It's been Phil Collins, just him singing the lyrics, and then some light accompaniment in the background. Now he's adding layers of harmonies back behind him, and he is adding a lot of reverb to the end of the phrases, a lot of echo. I like that abrupt stop. We gotta go back to that iconic drum riff there. It still has a very dreamlike quality and a very reminiscent quality. And it's like he's trying to work these things out, but things are not making sense to him. It's like, why did all this have to happen? I know what happened. I know who you are, and I'm not taking you back. But, he still is very unsettled by the whole thing. I mean, of course, we get that iconic drum riff there. It's great. He keeps repeating the same phrase over and over again, and he doesn't do a whole lot except for that last time. He didn't do a lot to change it each time. But you don't get bored, because there's something in the way he emotes and the way his emotion comes through his voice that you kind of get the sense that he's repeating himself, so you listen to what he's saying, for heaven's sake. I love that. Now it's almost like he's losing it. Ooh, I like that. I love how it fades out, not just the sound, but his face. It fades out completely. Legend Phil Collins. An iconic song. So let's see what Voiceplay does with it. Remember, they're all a cappella. So they may have had some mastering and some editing in the background to add some reverb or something on it, but every sound you hear is made by a human being. Of course, start that bass. Now, they started off just a little bit differently. In Phil Collins' version, he started it off with some snare and some. I am not a percussionist, y'all, so I am not well versed in what each of the instruments are called. But it was very light. It was very each time. Now they're starting with somebody's back there making the sound of a trumpet, and you've got Jeff big voice sounding with the bass in these long held out notes. And of course, when you get in there, this car yells 80s, okay? And J.None looking all fine with that red jacket. They've added the atmosphere to it. Oh, and if you'll notice, sometimes when they're going through, there's glitches across the screen. Like, if you are my age or older, you remember VHS tapes, and they started to degrade after a while, so they got that scratchy and glitchy all over the screen. That's a nice touch.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, oh Lord.
Now, you get the same emotion behind J.None's voice, but it has a very different quality. Phil Collins was very high and pointed up front, okay? And it sounded much younger. Obviously, he was much younger back then, but it sounded very wavering and very unsure. And again, I think that might have been on purpose for the emotion of the song. J.None sounds very sure of himself, and his tone is very clear. It is very clear, very precise, but you still get that emotion.
Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight?
Rock God, Ellie.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord.
Now, this is nitpicky, but for someone who grew up and went to school for music like I did, vocal music like I did, I appreciate how, with so many different voices saying that "Oh Lord" in the last phrase, and they're repeating it, they're matching the vowels. I remember watching the behind the scenes, and J.None was having so much trouble because he says it differently. He's from a different place than, they're all from Florida, I believe, but he says it differently, and so they were all struggling to match that vowel. But it's attention to detail like that makes stuff like this work.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand.
I believe you, Caesar. Do not make Caesar mad, because he oh, he's got so much good expression.
You told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I wouldn't lend I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know.
Go back. Drum fills by Lane cannot be skipped. They cannot be skipped. This is not that iconic drum fill later on in the song, but it is still very impressive. It adds punch to the line, but it doesn't take away from it.
I would not lend a hand. I wouldn't lend I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes. So you can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies.
They changed up a little bit because they had to add harmonies in there. They changed up a little bit of where the melody line goes, but it still is that very 80s ballad sound. They stayed true to the genre and to the feel of the song, but they really showcase the flavor of Voiceplay and the voices that they have. Rock God Ellie, obviously. But it really is a masterful choice.
It's all been a pack of lies. And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it.
I love that. Okay, we got to go through Lane singing because he doesn't do it very much, and it's always a treat when he does. But I love that choice where they built and crescendoed and then stopped and let everything reverb in the background. That gives that nostalgic I remember quality, back in the past, but it gives you a chance to stop and breathe and pay attention.
I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget? It's the first time, the last time that we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep your silence up. No, you don't fool me. Well, the hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. It's no stranger to you and me.
Sorry. When you hear that drum fill, you got it. I restrained myself in Phil Collins' original, but when you hear that drum fill, you want to do it. All that was done by Lane, by a person, okay? But I love this quality from Jeff. Normally he's very low and he's very resonant and he's very full in that register, but this is his middle range, and it is effortless the way he does that.
Oh no, you don't fool me. Well, the hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. It's no stranger to you and me.
Okay, this is something I didn't quite, and I hate to stop in the middle of Ellie's just showing his chops here, but I didn't notice this in the original. These guys, like Phil Collins, they're repeating the same phrases over and over, but to keep it interesting, they change it up a little bit each time. But listen here, in this particular song, the background vocals are doing a little bit of a syncopated rhythm behind it that really lends itself to it makes it sound fuller because it's changing up. You're feeling like there's more in there. There's more different things coming at you. So listen real closely to the background vocals here.
For all my life.
Okay, before they get to their big finale, listen to how they build it, where J.None just goes off, okay, and then Ellie carries it in the same register. He doesn't drop down any notes. He carries it from that note on and keeps going higher.
this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, oh Lord.
And they did a little different fade where they basically stripped back portions of the background vocals. They stripped out the percussion. They stripped out the bass guitar. They stripped out all the harmonies, and then it was left with J.None. Y'all, this classic song done so very well by both parties. There's a reason why Phil Collins made it iconic. He did an excellent job with it, and Voiceplay definitely did homage to that and paid wonderful respect to it. Y'all, if you liked what happened here today, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post again. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great day, night, evening, morning, happy time zones wherever you are. And I'll see you in the next one.